Continuing on with my 18th favorite movie of all time, it's another animated movie that's considered by many as a classic, and some even as a cult classic. And it was the directorial debut of one of the great innovative animators of our time, that is Don Bluth, who spent many years at Disney before going out on his own. And for his first film, he hit it out of the park with my number 18 film, my 18th favorite film of all time, and that is The Secret of NIMH. This 1982 animated feature that was, like I said, the feature-length directorial debut of Don Bluth, his first since leaving Disney as an animator. It's one of those movies that has really stood the test of time. It's become more than just an animated movie about talking mice, but also a movie about theorizing and rational thoughts as well. You have the story of Mrs. Brisby, voiced by the late Elizabeth Hartman, a mild-mannered mother mouse who plans to move heaven and earth, or at least her house at home, to save her family from Farmer Fitzgibbon's plow. Along the way, she gets some help with a lovelorn crow, voiced by Dom DeLuise, a busybody named Mouse with a fearsome great owl, voiced by John Carradine. Unfortunately, Mrs. Brisby will need an engineering miracle to hoist her home. And for that, she must face a mysterious rat, fend off a ferocious cat, and claim a magical amulet. But when Mrs. Brisby discovers the astonishing secret of NIMH, it could change her life forever. This timeless tale of love and courage and determination will transport the whole family into an enchanting world where the bravest hearts live in the meekest of mice. This is based off of a book by Robert C. O'Brien, Mrs. Frisby and the Secret of NIMH. They actually had to change it because the company that owned the book was going to sue the producers, so they had to change it from Frisby to Brisby. This is a great animated epic film with a lot of hard, great characters, and it also asks interesting questions about the ways of how the world comes together. And for a feature-length directorial debut from Bluth, he knocks it right out of the park, and you can definitely tell that the animation for this film is at its best here than it is through his later works, even though I still liked a lot of his other films from the 80s. Like, he was the guy that gave Disney the hugest wake-up call ever. Like, they had to change their ways, and that eventually led to the second Disney Renaissance we got. Like, I still like stuff like American Tail. Like, the ones I used to watch a lot from Don Bluth included The Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven, but those are the ones I watched a lot as a kid. I still watch them today, but this is the one that's one of my favorite ones. And honestly, it's hard for me to be as descriptive as I want to, because a lot of what I love about this film has already been said perfectly by one of my influences, Doug Walker, a.k.a. Nostalgia Critic. It's one of his favorite movies as well. He's gone into great details about what makes this movie so great, and quite frankly, his points pretty much make up my feelings towards the movie. I mean, it's like how Doug says he'll never do an episode on Ninja Turtles 3 or Star Wars Episode 1, because honestly, it's already been done, and there's nothing more that you can really say about it that hasn't already been said. I kind of feel the same way about Secret of NIMH. He kind of said enough that I can't say already, even with the most recent review he did last year with one of the animators, Philo Barnhart. I also think that that Mrs. Brisby is one of the best characters ever brought to film. She's a character who is an average, everyday person who's not used to danger, but when her family's lives on the line, she has no choice to face her fears and do whatever it takes to make sure her family is safe. She's a great character because she knows that she has to learn how to overcome her fears and not become like the typical action hero we see in a lot of blockbuster movies, but to basically do whatever it takes to conquer your fears and do whatever you need to do to keep the ones you love safe. The theories that the movie also proposes are also really fascinating as well. How the world evolves over time for these characters we follow is fascinating to watch, and the questions of whether or not these are rightfully sound are not very good questions, and it's really hard to tell that if there's a right answer to the questions of life or not. But you know, I've talked about how A Boy Named Charlie Brown and The Iron Giant are movies that don't play down to their audiences, and The Secret of NIMH is definitely one of those animated movies that fits into that category, fits into that list. It's not resorting to the same old jokes that have become plagued in today's kids' movies, but it's trying to be something that both teaches lessons to kids about the way life works and gives adults some theories about how these characters take their situations. Plus, there are intense moments in this movie that are more intense now, even as an adult. But like, this is what I like about the 1980s and their family movies. Like, these movies really take chances. They don't play down to kids. They don't dumb it down for kids. Like, they're not afraid to go all out if they have to. There's people that get killed in this movie in pretty brutal ways, but not like Watership Down levels, because that would have been something really too much, I guess. But it really takes a lot of chances in this movie, and that's what I really love about it. The music, fantastic. Jerry Goldsmith's themes for this movie are so fascinating to listen to. The main theme is great. The end of the movie has that great score as she's lifting the house up. And I like the idea that they don't explain what the magic is. It's mostly just the unknown, and like you can definitely bring in a lot of different questions to ask about what really is going on here, because a lot of this isn't taken from the book. It's something that's actually created from the ideas of the book overall. But you know, Secret of NIMH is just a great movie. It's not just a movie that's perfect for kids, but it's perfect for any audience. It's a movie that works because of the compelling story, the great characters, beautiful animation, fantastic music. I think it's just a perfect movie with no flaws whatsoever. The sequel, yeah, we're not even going to talk about that. But Secret of NIMH, not much more to say about that one. I think pretty much everything that's been said about that one already has been pretty much said, but it's my 18th favorite film of all time. So that's it for that one. So check back next week for number 17. Check out some of the other ones I've done, and I will see you guys next week. So until then, take care.